Yeah, good morning. My name's Simon Copping. I'm driving the West LMP4 car that's came from Phil Androsi from West Cars, South Australia. It's only our second round in the car. We did have an older West which had a few dramas with and all the rest of it, so we've got ourselves a new spec car, thanks to Bob McDonnell. The team at Dillman Automotive helped look after the car, and yeah, we're having a great fun in sports sedans. There's lots of great guys, cars are fast, and we're really enjoying the time here. It's great. The track's been pretty good. It was a bit cool this morning. It took a while to get the tyres up to temperature, but once we did that, we set a fantastic PB for us, about 1.3 seconds quicker than last time. So yeah, it's really good. Really enjoying ourselves. So yeah, go Super Sports. And bad luck to Alex because he had a mega qualifying into the 1 minute 24s. So it's such a disappointment for our major sponsor to not have his vehicle on the track. So I wish him well, get it back on the track for the next round, which is a day-night round here. So yeah, thanks very much. If I can try and keep up with Mark Brome, because he's such a consistent driver. He won the Radicals last year, I'm pretty sure. And just nice, clean racing, and get the car off the, well, we've got a rolling start, but just get a good run. We've only got a little engine, but once it gets going, it's fantastic. So, yeah, looking forward to it, but it's 3 races. We'll be to bed early tonight, I think.
Now, you'll be looking for Alex Kenny on pole, and you'll be disappointed. Alex is out for the day. We've got Kelly next to him. Then we've got Steve Copping, Mark Brame, and Perry's, and they're away. These are the Super Sports. Basically, run what you brung and hope you brung enough.
And it looks like it's Nick Kelly has gone straight to the lead. Interesting that we've unfortunately lost out with not having Alex Kenny running, because he has been dominant at the opening round, which was a couple of months ago now.
Alex has had a really difficult run with that car. The car, I think, is a bit snake bit. He's had trouble with tyres. He's had now trouble with the exhaust manifold breaking twice, and that's what's put him out this weekend. So he's got to go back to the drawing board and get another exhaust manifold. Well, that was an interesting way to pass people.
That was someone going into turn 5 decided that the dirt route was a better way to go. We just didn't quite see. There's one of the black cars out there, but at the moment Nick Kelly and the Wolf Mistral is out in front, as we would expect of that car. They are the, I guess, apart from the Kenny car, would be the leading lights in Supersports / prototype racing at the moment. So Copping in second spot. Now you might know that name. He used to run in sports sedans in a former VZ supercar. Now he just seems to be happy doing people that jump into a sports car tend to want to stay there. They don't want to go back to a tin top.
No, and look, Mark Brame's another one. Mark was very successful back in the day in a Suzuki Swift production car, even finishing in the top handful of cars in an early iteration of the Bathurst 12 Hour. But Nick Kelly's already, well, he's got a good little lead now.
He's 1.2 seconds in front at the start-finish line on that occasion. Sergio Perez is another one who's running in Porsches and Audis, and now having a bit of a time here in number 18. That's in the Radical SR3. Of course, we've got 2 classes here. It's the Open class and the Radical class. The SR3s make up the bulk of that class. That's Class 1. Class 2, of course, is the Open for basically everything else that's running here today. And that includes, well, it doesn't include Alex Kenny at the moment.
No.
He's not there.
And you really threw me then. You said Sergio Perez, and I thought I heard Perez, and I got, really? What's he doing here? Now, the field is a bit smaller this weekend. This round was affected by the National Radical Cup Series being run in Western Australia last weekend. So a lot of people just weren't able to turn their cars around and get them back to Sydney in time. Let's face it, it's in the best possible circumstances, a 4-day drive back from Perth.
Steve Champion was one of the ones that was racing over there last weekend with the GWR racing team, and that car is really distinctive because that has a fin on it. It's the latest innovation of the SR3, it's the XXR.
And we've got a good little scrap going on for third place. Sorry, Gary. Pires has just moved past Mark Brame down the straight. Brame's having a bit of a sniff down the outside coming into turn 2. Maybe he can dive under him on the way out. And that's letting Morris catch up.
Race Champion is behind him at the moment, I think, in position 5. That's the Finn car we spoke about.
Warwick
Never
Morris.
been a fan of the Finn on those sort of sports cars until they put it on the Radical. I reckon it looks where it's it should be there.
Yeah, look, it depends on the car. The LMP2 cars look about right with it, I think. These LMP3 and 4 cars, some do, some don't. I think it's a case of the better the car does, the more it looks good.
The faster the car, the better it looks. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if it looks right, it possibly is. If it looks wrong, it almost certainly is. But I've always liked prototype sports cars. I think they're just terrific. So Simon Copping will, this is not going to be hurting his point score ambitions at all. Nick Kelly's back in 5th place coming into this round on 28 points, and Simon Copping's 12 ahead of him.
Well, we've just seen Pires have an attempt to get past Copping out of turn 11. Of course, Copping is in the West LMP4. Very low slung car. And at the moment, it's a battle in 4. So we're considering how close they were coming out of turn 11. There is a little bit of a gap coming down into turn 1, but I dare say that the West is a little bit slipperier in a straight line with such a low profile.
It does sit very low to the ground. It's got a very small frontal area.
And look how much they've caught up on him now. We just watched him out of turn 3 heading up over hill, and it's basically line astern again. The 4 cars all putting on a great scrap at the moment. Copping, Pires, Brame and Champion, and of course we've got Morris and Church, our remaining runners further back. They make their way through turn 6 up to Corporate Hill. They're on their 4th lap at the moment. This is a timed race, as all the New South Wales State Championship races are, apart from supercars when they run and Formula Vs.
Actually, the last meeting, I think the supercars were timed, but they're not here, so that's moot.
You can see back in the distance there, Hannon in position 7 and Church. So they're not all that farly spread out.
Well, no, and Copping just made up a lot of ground on Kelly in the last couple of corners.
He's doing it all in the braking areas.
Sorry, Pires on Copping, not Pop Copping on Kelly.
Yeah, he's doing it all in the braking area, but down the straight, that West is just pulling yards on the field, or metres I should be saying.
Well, the Wolf, the second place car of Nick Kelly, actually has a bigger engine than most of the other cars around it. So it's got a 1.6 litre engine. Most of the others are around about 1 litre to 1.1.
Yeah, I think turbocharged Honda power in those cars. No, Peugeot, sorry, turbo Peugeots.
Well,
in those cars.
Something else we
Wolf do a variety of cars now. They do the naturally aspirated car, and they do a Coyote engine car as well, which you can imagine is a fair beast in a straight line.
Yes, but it's a much bigger and heavier car. So again, Pires has closed up on Copping under brakes.
He's getting him well into.
Whoa.
And it looks like we've just
Champion.
had Champion off the track at turn 6. Manages to get it back though, so he hasn't spun or anything. He just went off wide onto the grass and dirt.
He'll have a whole lot of crud all over his tyres, so he'll be slow for the next half lap or so.
And you can see as they come down to turn 8 that he has dropped well back from the 3 of them. Surprised that Mark Brame hasn't been able to take it right up to the 2 ahead. He has been the pace setter amongst the SR3s, and out onto the straight again, and this time Pires seems to be a bit closer as they get down the straight, but it's a bit of an illusion when you're looking from head on, and as they go through turn 1 there is a fair gap there, but it's negated fairly quickly by the time they get to turn 2. So much so that he's almost up the inside and takes the spot away.
Yeah. Copping took a very shallow entry into turn 2. He was basically well offline. I wonder if he's struck a little drama and is getting out of the way. No, here he comes. He's coming back now at Pirries.
Pirries is going to be superior around the back part of the track, you would think. Although, has it just woken Copping up enough to think that maybe I shouldn't be just lagging
Having a bit of a dawdle, yeah.
Because he'll be quicker down the straight, that's for sure. I think the main thing is to try and stay as close as he can around the twisty bits of the back of the circuit and then launch an attack after turn 11. So coming down to complete 6 laps, we've got just over 5 minutes of this race remaining.
We can probably forget about Nick Kelly for the time being. He's away and gone.
He's long gone.
Yeah, he's checked out. He's a bit ahead. But yes, the action's certainly on for second. Pirries still ahead of Copping, but let's see whether Copping can renew his second place on the straight.
I thought he would have picked up all that speed. He's certainly closed.
Yeah.
With the slipstream as another handy advantage as well, but didn't quite get close enough to go past.
Slipstream's not always a help, of course. You get stuck in dirty air. It may upset the car if we wait for the camera to swing around, and it didn't. Now we're looking at Champion and Morris battling over 5th place. Round through.
So any chance that Champion might have got hold of Brame is not going to happen now. It's have to concentrate on just staying ahead of Warwick Morris for the rest of this race.
Yep.
Bit of incentive for Morris too, because he wasn't anywhere near him initially, well, in terms of being nose to tail, but now that he can see the back of that car and read all those decals that are there, might have another shot.
You could read the serial number of the gearbox almost.
Yeah. Leader
Nick Kelly away, as you said, away and gone, and a couple of seconds a lap, well, a second and a half a lap quicker than anybody else at this stage. 1:29. We'll point out Alex Kenny did a 1:25 in qualifying, which is getting pretty close to the breakout time for the Super Sports class. It might move him up to the open sports car category. Where are we? So Pirries are still running second from Copping and Brame, and
Kelly's, as you said, Kelly's fastest lap at 29.46 is about a second off what he did in qualifying as well.
Well, if you're leading by a long way, there's no point in beating the daylights out of your car.
Just you don't get extra points.
No.
Well, not in this category anyway.
No.
Others that they too give fastest laps to qualifying.
As the legendary Sir Jack Brabham said, you should win at the slowest possible speed.
And he often did.
There's always an advantage in having a bit of car left at the end of the race.
So we've got about 2.5 minutes to go. We're on lap 8, so we've got a couple more yet to go. Kelly certainly checked out in front, but still I don't think it's undecided about where we'll end up with perhaps 3rd position at this stage, because I think Brame is now sort of trying to get onto the back of Copping and maybe take away that 2nd position or 3rd position as it turns out, but certainly Piers has consolidated his 2nd placing at the moment.
Look, once Pirries got through to 2nd, I think Copping bundied off a little bit maybe, or maybe his tyres have gone off, maybe he's got a little drama.
You wouldn't expect their tyres to be going off this early when you've got 2 more races to go.
One would hope not, but don't think they've got a control tyre. These are very light cars. It could well be that he's on what would any other category be a qualifying rubber.
So they're on to their 9th lap now.
Minute and a half to go, so they should get this lap plus one more.
I think at this stage. First of 3 races for this category today.
And unlike most of the other categories, the super sports get all their racing done in the one day.
They actually wrap up the program today, and they don't have to come back. And of course, they get replaced by another one-day category throughout tomorrow. Generally speaking.
Generally, I don't think they do this weekend.
This one it's the exception rather than the rule. And there's our race leader coming onto the straight to complete his 9th lap. That's Nick Kelly in the Wolf Mistral.
And he's on a fast lap. He's done a 1:04 to the second timing sector. And, 1:29.2. Oh, that's the checkered flag. So...
We got it, and as they come out in the straight, there, Brame has closed up on the back of Copping, but I don't think he has the straight line speed to wrestle away that position as Sergio Peers takes second. Then we get Simon Copping third, followed by Mark Brame, and Steve Champion's been able to hold off Warwick Morris to take out position 5. Next across the line will be the Sean Hanna in another of the Radical SR3s, and the last one to meet the checkered flag should be Warwick Church.
Oh, that's something we missed. Neil Kenny didn't start either.
No, so they're both out. Results on our screens. Anyone who's watching at the moment, it's Nick Kelly from Sergio Peers, Simon Copping, Mark Brame, Stephen Champion, Warwick Morris, Sean Hanna, Warwick Church is in 8th position. Unfortunately, Alex Kenny, Stephen Shields didn't start, and neither did Neil Kenny. It'll be a 20-minute session from the moment they left the pits till the checkered flag. So there's 15 odd minutes to go in this one. Green light goes, and Kelly makes the best of start. He goes straight to the lead. He will show the way through turn 1.
Oh,
as
he's gone. Thanks, I'm leaving.
Perez in 2nd position. Brame into 3rd, Copping 4th at this stage. Someone else there just up the inside in that black Radical. Ran up a couple of spots off the start, and Champion was the one that lost out. He's dipped right down to 7th.
It was Hanna in that black car that made up the spots. Number 82 there. Having a bit of a bobble mid-corner there in turn 4. Will that affect his exit speed? Yes, but not enough to lose the spot. But Nick Kelly's checked out. Sergio Perez is 7th in the second for Mark Brame, Simon Copping. Hanna just dropping a couple of wheels off into the dirt there on the exit of turn 6.
So Champion's lost out to Morris as well, so he's back to 7th. Church in 8th position at this stage. That was Church that had that spin on the opening tour of the circuit before the start. So we would expect in this race that our battle will be amongst these guys here. We've seen some good battles in the early race for the minor positions in the race. It took quite a few laps for Simon Copping to get past.
Oh, is that Hanna again?
Actually, Copping's now picked up a spot. He was ahead of Perez in the first race, and it took quite a few laps for the position to change. And we did note that Copping's car was so much quicker in a straight line, mainly because I think it's lower aero, it's lower profile.
And bigger engine. So Copping's car is the 1.6 litre car.
Yeah, and
oh, and he's having a bit of a look down there.
But there is a parity thing with these cars. It's a 1 litre car in the 1 litre engine in the West, which I think from memory are Kawasaki powered, while the Hayabusa is a power plant for the Radicals.
Certainly Copping's all over the back of Simon Press at the moment. Sergio Perez. Oh, having a bit of a look at the as they come into Creek Corner. I'm sticking with Creek Corner. I'm trying to make it a thing. I'm trying to make it happen.
Hails back to the old Warwick Farm days.
Absolutely.
There is a bit of a creek there, isn't he?
Oh, it's a bit of a puddle.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
there is a creek that runs alongside.
I can remember here at a supercar meeting, there was more than a creek, it was more
Yeah.
like a river.
So if you look to, well, you can't see it, but to driver's left there's actually a watercourse that runs from the last couple of corners down towards
And
the back
here's
of the pits.
Copping making a move
Yep.
on Perez down the straight, takes away the position. As we've said, that car has significant straight line speed advantage. Straight line handling, as it's often called by people
Yeah.
who don't have it.
Yeah.
And Copping has always been able to pull away in the straight, but Perez has been quicker to the corners under brakes.
Oh no, there's cars with different strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Who would have? Whoa! Copping having a bit of a wag of the tail out of turn 4 there.
Yeah, you might think a 1 litre car wouldn't be that powerful, but they certainly make these things get up and sing.
Yeah, but Copping's is the 1.6.
1.5.
I beg your pardon. Yes, 1.5. So the Mistral that's leading, Nick Kelly, is a 1.6.
Yeah, that's a turbo car as well. But it's parity to, or in prototypes at least, which is a sister category to this, you might say. Prototypes, they run a parity, and it's based on driver and car,
Remember,
not just on the car itself.
always remember, Gary, there's no replacement for displacement.
Well, I think that was a heading many years ago at Bathurst. Thou shalt use all the cubes at our disposal. I think when the Fords beat the Alphas up there in 67.
Yeah, 67. Because the Alfa Romeos had 4-wheel brakes.
But they didn't have near the.
But the Fords had 5 litres.
Yes. So Kelly's already pulled out a significant gap, 5 seconds.
In 3 laps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leading this, or it's actually 5.9 now. So he's actually pulling out over a second a lap. No problems at all. But this is where the battle has been in the previous races, and we mentioned it before that there's 2 classes, Class 2 and Class 1. Class 2 is basically the open class, which is the Kelly car, the West, whereas Class 1 are the Radicals. So the Radicals run as a separate class. And we don't have a Radical Cup in New South Wales as such. There's a national Radical Cup, First Focus Radical Cup Australia, but no state level Radical Cup as it used to be. So they run as with Super Sports, and they're quite competitive. Mark Braham's been very competitive in this number 32 car, and it is an older SR3. There's been 3-4 different evolutions of the SR3, mainly in aero. There has been the odd engine tweak as well, but generally speaking, the aero has been in the early cars it was over the top aero, and the later cars it's underneath aero. But the very newest car, the one that Steve Champion's running, the XXR, has
both?
It has a bit of both, because it has the thin wing over the engine cowling, which is supposed to help in stability. There it is. Car we're actually speaking about. I reckon it looks really good on this car.
My understanding of those fins was that it's meant to straighten the car out when it's spinning and act as an air brake when it's spinning.
Okay.
So,
well, you don't want to try it out to sea, do you?
no, I'm good.
Copping now is starting to close in. Perez is starting to close in on the back of Copping there as well. So that's sort of starting to look a bit like it did in race 1. And Braham has not been able to do much about it. He actually did the pair of them very early on in that race, but they both got by. He hasn't dropped off significantly, but he just can't quite match those cars.
Kelly took nearly 2 seconds off the next car on that last lap. I'll point out it went from 6.9 to 8.8 seconds.
And interesting, Kelly's had a variety of cars. He had a Radical SR8. That's a 2.7 litre or 3 litre, depending who you talk to. And raced that for a while. He had a Typhoon as well, which was the turbo Ford engine Radical that was around very briefly. I think that's been sold on to someone now. This is our battle at the back between
Church and Hannah.
Yeah, well, they're quite close this time, considering that they were fairly spaced out the last time.
Well, Hannah hasn't helped himself. He's been off the track at least twice in this race. He should be probably a couple of spots up on where he is now.
No, he didn't finish any higher in the earlier race, so. But it makes for an interesting race when you've got cars in competition against each other rather than just sailing off into the distance. You usually tell the different variations of these cars, like the Hannah car is an older spec car than the 82. Sorry, that is the 82. Sorry, the Church car is an older spec car than the 82.
Got a bit of
you can tell by the headlights and the uprights on the winglets, I should say, on the back. They are different. It's a lot smaller on the later car, and actually he goes through and has just now taken position 7 away from Church.
It's now less than a second, by the way, between second and third places, Copping and Pires. Here they are at turn 4.
And that's the Copping car is one of the earlier models as well. So he's doing a pretty good job in that. I think Brames is also one of the early, what was just called the SR3. There's big headlights or headlight covers on it. They changed to LEDs for the next version as well. That was another change to the cars. But they're certainly all over the back of the West now, and Copping has to fend off Perez, who tries to go around the outside of him. Down at turn 8. There's definitely the Radical's a better car over the back of the circuit than what the West is. And now has a look down the inside and gets it done. Bluffed him out of that, really, didn't he?
Look, this is the same as the pattern we had in the first race, where Copping was faster early and still he's retaken the second place on the straight that time. But I just wonder if either his brakes or his tyres are getting a bit weary over a race distance.
It's interesting that Copping, Perez, Brame and Champion are all doing the same lap times as well. So as much as Champion would like to be with him, there's a bit of a gap between him and the next group up in front of him. So he's not making any ground as a result.
Well, when you're all climbing over the top of each other, there's not too much you can do about going faster or slower. You're all going to be doing the same lap speeds, aren't you?
Yep. And his only hope is that while Copping is defending, he's slowing them down, and he might be able to latch on the back of them that way. But we've just got over 3 minutes of this one to go. This is the second of 3 races today. Their round will finish at the end of this today. They're not back tomorrow to participate in Sunday action, and it's been a tradition with this category for many a moon.
Perhaps they have short attention spans.
And here is our race leader, and the Wolf has certainly lifted the standard of prototypes. Won't say super sports, because the Novas are an interesting vehicle, and what the Kennys are running are again quite startling looking cars. But the Wolf in its various configurations has been a pretty good car. They started with Honda engines, they went to the turbo Peugeot, and as I said, there's been a Coyote engine car as well. But the Mistral is the latest, and this is what Kelly is running. And his lead is over 17 seconds with what I assume would be a lap to go after this. They are on their 9th.
Copping has dropped down a couple of places.
So there's been something happen that we haven't spotted. He's lost out to both Perez and Brame. And he's only just in front of Champion. So there he is there. So there's been something how he's got issues. He's just letting them go past.
Well, that's a shame.
So it's been a day, not only in this category, but it's been a day of
weird mechanical issues, yeah.
We don't know why, and one would expect that he would try and stay out for the points, if nothing else, because it is a state championship meeting, and there's every chance he could be back and running in the last one anyway. So I assume we may be on the last lap as we speak, and that lead, I think Kelly sort of backed out of it a bit on that last lap. Nothing to prove at this point.
Not going to do a Brock and set a new lap record on the last lap.
Well, not when you've got a race to go. Maybe on the last lap of the next race. But it'll make for an interesting championship tussle with Alex Kenny dominating the first round with 3 wins and Nick Kelly dominating this round with 3 wins, to see where they are in the points when they'll be back for the next round. I'm not sure if they're on the next championship program in June, but we can check and verify that if the case needs to be sorted. But here he comes down, checkered flag out. Nick Kelly, 2 races today and 2 race victories in the Wolf F1 Mistral. Acknowledges the checkered flag as he goes across the line. We have to wait now because the second place and third place coming down to the checkered flag now. I think Brame had a bit of a look there for a minute. And then
well, Perry's was a little bit slow out of the last corner, and Brame had a run on him. Not enough of one.
Steve Champion picks up position 4, and looks like Copping will hold out Warwick Morris to finish 5th and 6th respectively. Now we should get Sean Hanna and Warwick Church as the next 2, and here they are.
82 and 28, interchangeable.
Yeah, you can swap the numbers around if you need be. So they come around the final corner. They come around the final corner now, and so they've had an interesting race there back for the 7th and 8th positions. Results on screen for you now with Nick Kelly, the winner, as we said. 18.57 the gap in the end from Sergio Perez. Mark Brame just behind him in 3rd, then with a little bit of a gap to Steve Champion. Simon Copping just held out Warwick Morris. Sean Hannon won his scrap over Warwick Church. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back in a short while with production touring. Well, 3rd and final race for New South Wales Supersports Championship. Cars are out on the grid. Unfortunately, numbers have dwindled a bit for this round.
We have experienced some attrition, sadly. So the field's rolling down towards the Creek Corner hairpin for its rolling start. Nick Kelly on pole. Nick's won both the races, led every lap so far today. He's doing a Kenny. Kelly, Kenny, yeah, all the same. Sergio Perez is next, and then Mark Brame and Stephen Champion. Watch again for Perez, Brame and Champion to have a terrific scrap like they did in the first couple of races. Next is Simon Copping, then Warwick Morris, Sean Hanna and Warren Churchy out of 8th. And then none of these cars will be starting. Alex Kenny, Stephen Shields and Neil Kenny all have suffered dramas through the day.
It would affect Alex Kenny's championship aspirations. He won every race in the first round, but I suppose if you can get it sorted and he'd be in a good position in the forthcoming rounds to get it all back, one would hope.
Yeah. Righto, here we go. We've got red lights on. We're rolling down towards the start line. Everyone's got their right foot on the throttle and their left foot on the brake. Waiting. There we go. So Alex Kenny got an immediate start, jumped out to a good lead.
It's on for second though.
Yes.
They go through turn 1. Perez leads that little group ahead of Brame. Champion looks like he might have got down the outside of Copping and relegated him back to 5th spot there.
He has indeed.
Oh, it looks like two cars are almost run into each other coming out of that corner. I think that was the 82 on Morris. So that was Hannah on Morris. I think Morris was forced a little bit wide out of that corner from the exit from Hannah at the time, but it needs to continue as they head up just into turn 6, and it's Kelly leading the way. Perez in second, Brame the next one through. Looks like Champion had a bit of a slow exit out of turn 6, and it's allowed Copping to get right up on the back of him as they head down towards turn 8. And Hannah's certainly taken the fight up to Morris at this stage. Nothing between those two as they come out of turn 8 in the background there. And they come around to complete the first lap in this 20-minute race. Remember, of course, the 20-minute starts as soon as they leave the pre-grid. They go through the complete lap,
and Nick Kelly's leading from Nick Kelly's leading from Sergio Perez, then Mark Brame, Steve Champion.
Copping's just past Champion as they went past the start-finish line. As we reiterated before, that the West seems to have a straight line advantage, but Copping loses out a little bit to Radical around the tighter sections of the track. And I did notice just up ahead of them, Brame had a look at trying to get past Perez. Just couldn't quite manage it. Still sits just behind him as they go through turn 4. Then Rocco 5 corner there, the next one through. Already Kelly has eked out a fairly substantial lead, 2.4 seconds over them.
Have you ever seen this place looking so green?
That's
It's
because
very
of all
lush.
the rain.
All the rain, yes. But it's looking very lush. And I'm very pleased that I'm not photographing this weekend and lugging my cameras through all that long, wet grass.
So they're coming up to complete the second lap. And actually that lead's dropped down. It was a lot more than that 1.9 seconds it was at the second sector. So maybe Kelly had an issue there around the back of the track somewhere, because it was all over 2 seconds. It's under 2 seconds now. Brame again just having a look up the inside, not close enough to do anything about it. Just lets Perez know that he's there. And I think at this stage even that Copping is starting to make some inroads on their battle for second position.
This car goes through a funny sort of arc through the race, doesn't it? It's slow at the start, then gets a lot of speed in the first, third or so of the race, and then drops away in the last third. I can't help but think it's tyres, but...
Well, they may take a little while to come on in a light car like that. And
yeah, could be.
Depends what pressures he's running as well. Now that it's cooler as well than it was for the previous two races, that could have a bearing as well. I thought Copping was starting to make some ground up on these guys, but it appears he's actually dropped a little bit on that last lap.
Yeah, and Kelly's opened out a 3.5 second lead now, so
he's probably just having a bit of a play there.
Yeah.
In the lead.
Time to get on with it.
But it puts him in championship contention now with if he gets 3 wins here this weekend or today. And it's guys like Brame who will just keep notching up points and not have DNFs or DNSs.
Well, yeah, starting and finishing every race is the first part.
Yep.
Bit of debris on the driver's right coming out of turn 2 there. Let's hope it's nothing important. Yeah, Kelly's opened out a 5.5 second lead now over Pires with Brame. Well, not that far away, what, half a second or so in arrears.
Just doesn't seem to be able to. He gets close down to turn 2, and that's about the closest part of the circuit that he's on the back of Pires.
And now he's dropped way. In fact, he's vanished. Or am I looking in the wrong spot?
You're looking back
looking
further.
Yeah, it's okay then. Our vision switching people are messing with me now.
They're trying your eyes out.
Yeah, they're winning. All right, there goes Kelly. All right, let's just have a reset here. There's Brame. Okay, it's all good. So yeah, Perry's, Brame, Copping, Champion, Morris, Hannah, Church. That's probably it. Yeah,
It is. Not the biggest field, but they only had small numbers at the first round as well. The field bolstered then with the prototypes being here at Sydney Motorsport Park. So,
well, how dare the prototypes not enter this weekend?
well, because they're probably racing their own series in South Australia, which is also available for a live stream on Blendline.
As is the Winton Historic meeting.
That's for premium subscribers.
Right.
It's different. Yeah, but certainly this meeting and South Australia State Championships, it's the 4th round over there, are both live and free through Blendline.tv. You'll find links there to both events, and also on YouTube you'll see the links to the South Australian event. It's a big task from Blendline this weekend to have 3 meetings available for viewing. So nothing seems to be changing here in the battle for second. 2 older spec radicals running close together and well clear of the west of Simon Copping. And again, at this point of the track, it's about the closest Brame gets to the back of Perez. Here's our race leader, Industry Clothing, Wolf, F1 Mistral, and Industry Clothing are also the category backers as well. It's good to see.
Well, the sponsor for this race this weekend is again Regulation Automation, which is Alex Kenny's business, and they supply equipment for the HVAC industry. That's heating, ventilating and air conditioning. If you are getting a big air conditioning job done, make sure your contractor is using regulation equipment as much as possible.
And Industry Clothing, of course, is Kelly's business, so that's where the link comes from there.
That's handy. Is he good for a free t-shirt?
And he's certainly cut away now. Put the foot into this one. Best lap's been a 29.63. And that was the lap before this one. So a 29.92 on this lap. Lap record is held by Alex Kenny at a 25.87. So fair way off that sort of time. It's just a pity that we haven't seen Alex here and they've had all sorts of dramas over the last 12 months or so, haven't they, with that car?
Sorry, I was away. Alex Kenny's had
Yeah.
dramas. Yeah. He's had shocking trouble. Well, he's had a lot of niggles. He couldn't get the right size tyres for it. He ran a really old set of Avons for, I think, 3 race meetings, and set new lap records. these rotten old tyres that were good enough to put on the car to put it in the container. Whoops. Oh!
That's a fairly big off there from Warwick Church.
Yep. Well, it's going to help him consolidate last place.
And I wonder if he had a drama and just decided to drive off.
Well,
That's what it looks like.
there were locked brakes.
Yeah, but he's,
Yeah.
oh, he's got
All
going
right.
again. No.
Yes, no, yes, no. Are we going to see our first safety car of the weekend?
No, we've had one already.
Yes, we have. What day is it?
What year is it?
Oh,
So this race for second seems to have sorted itself out, and they've got a local yellow, or they've gone full yellow. At this stage it's just a local as Church gets himself back on track.
sort of going,
Not
it's sort
quite
of
there.
not.
So if he doesn't move from there, no, I think he's just waiting for traffic to come through.
There isn't much of it. Unless it's having one of those things where it starts and then stops and then starts and then it stops.
Yeah. Well, the brakes might have locked on or something.
Well, no point speculating, but
We can speculate all we like, but it won't make any difference.
a couple of Eastern Australian ravens on the side of the track just then. Hello, he's
crows.
going. Yay!
They're not crows?
They're not crows, no. They're called crows, but statistically they're much more likely to be an Eastern Australian raven.
Right. They look like ravens
They-
anyway.
Yeah, but I've never heard one say nevermore.
Okay, so we're down to just over 4.5 minutes of this to go, and Nick Kelly has just made this race his own. He's made this round his own. Well and truly in front. It's 10.5 seconds. He's out in front, and there he goes down through turn 2. This car, well, Kelly himself has, that car has been run by Jeff Forshaw. Used to run in Group A days, sorry.
Yeah, I remember Jeff, yep.
And Bart Moore's been involved in driver coaching and on the cans as well over the time.
There's a little LED sign that's over behind the food outlet on the South Circuit, and every now and again it flashes up and it looks like it's a yellow flag or a yellow light
seen
waving
that.
in the background.
Yeah,
and
that's that camera shot out of turn 6 looking backwards.
Yeah.
You catch it.
a couple of the drivers have told me there's a couple of the LED advertising signs around the track that come up with colours sometimes that look like a flag. It's
As long as they're not all red.
yeah, well, yeah, or blue or yellow.
Yeah,
Hello, what's going?
this is Steve Champion, Warwick Morris, and Sean Hanna. It's now turned into a free race.
3-car race, yeah.
This is livening things up a little bit. And as they come through turn 8, there's so we're hearing on the comms that Champion had a moment where he's gone off track, and he's just got it back. So trying to beat himself by the sound of it, but gets the car back underway. You can see the difference between those two radicals as well, with the latest Radical SR3, the XXR, against one of the earlier models. And actually,
he's not getting away, is he?
Morris has taken the fight up. And, well, most of the changes in the cars have been basically aero. And the car behind is one of the original SR3s. Actually, it is one of the originals. Yeah, it is the original SR3 with that end plates on the rear wings are different from the later ones, and the big headlight covers is a giveaway of the first ones. But their aero was achieved over the top, whereas the following cars had their aero coming from underneath the car, the tunnel effect. And then the new one seems to be a bit of both, with that fin off the back of the engine cowling there.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, my understanding was that those fins don't have too much effect on straight line speed, but they're, as I said before, more about keeping the car in a straight line.
Yeah, stop it from moving around on the track, I guess.
Getting some nice effects in the in the pictures here of the setting sun reflecting off the car bodies.
Getting it reflecting off the curbing colours too.
I hope our photographers are out there getting lovely late afternoon shots. Golden hour, we call this.
So Morris is now under challenge from Hannah. Now Hannah is in the later spec car, in the middle spec car, you could say. End plates are different, front headlights are different, and there's some different aero under the car too, I believe. And Morris actually ran a little bit wide, but he managed to tuck it back in coming out of turn 2. And managed to consolidate out of turn 3. Here's our race leader coming around to what I would imagine may be the checkered flag on this lap, with very little in the way of time left. Checkered flag is out, and Nick Kelly makes it 3 from 3, and he's done this one with ease here in the second round of the New South Wales Super Sports Championship. Here's our race for second, which has seen Brahim close up a bit on the last lap. I don't think he's quite close enough to take it away from him, although he is having a run, and he'll be quite close at the end. 2/10 of a second in the end, or just under.
It's not a lot, is it?
No, and the next car across the line will be Simon Copping in the West.
And there he goes.
And he crosses the line, and Steve Champion, after that a bit of a off earlier, who will take that next position, which is position 5. Morris and Hannah, the next two across the line, and Church, of course, did go off the track at turn 2. He will be our final finisher.
And that is that.
And we'll get into the trophies for the day. So this is a accumulation of naturally the point score for today's racing. So we will go in reverse this time round. We'll go class 2 first. So a great day and a lot of speed today. Simon Copping, second place.
Cheers, mate.
Feel free to
Thank you.
say something.
Yep, great weekend, great racing. Really like to thank the whole Super Sports fraternity for coming out, and see you all at the next round. Cheers.
Thanks, Simon. And first place in Class 2, and he won outright all 3 races. So great job, Nick Kelly.
Thanks, Darren. Cheers, Peter. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everyone. You're all great. It's great to see you. Shame I'm going to miss the next one. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, so let's go into then Class 1 for the day. And he looked really good in his brand new car. Steve Champion, third place.
Thank you.
Take that.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. It's great to have a big crowd, but it's sad that it sort of disappeared as we went through it, but it was good racing and we had a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you. And second for the day was Mark Brahim. Well done, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the support, family support. Jeff, Josh and the boys. Good day. Had a good battle with my old mate over here. Serge, it was good fun. Couldn't get him. I made a mistake. You pay for it. Anyway, great day. Had a ball. Thanks to Super Sports and everyone that came out.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. And 3 good races, 3 wins means it gets first place in Class 1. Sergio Perez.
Thanks, Darren, as always, for organising. Simon and Mark, thank you for the great racing. Always leave these weekends with a huge smile, so thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you. And our last award is our Thumbs Up Award. And today goes to a person who did a really good job and just got faster and faster as he went through the day. And in the last race was right on the back of a couple of guys in front. So second race meeting, Sean Hanna, thumbs up.
Thanks. I don't know if this works, does it? Thanks,
It does.
Thanks, Darren. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Justin, my engineer. Thanks to GRW. Had a great day. I haven't had this much fun in ages, so thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. So that concludes our day. As I said, a small field but a quality field. Raced really hard through the course of the day. Next race meeting is 5 weeks from today. It's a day-nighter. Makes it about June 29. Entries have actually already opened. They only opened, I think, 22, is it? Okay. I'll confirm anyway. But entries have actually already opened. So I'll send out a note tonight just to remind you all. So yeah, jump on if you want to garage, those sorts of things. So thank you all, and we'll see you at day night or in 5 weeks' time.